Hello ladies, my name is Amy Bolton with Live Healthy, Be Happy, and I am here to talk to you today about the risks of not getting breastfeeding support. So I wanted to ask you, what has your journey with breastfeeding been like? I am just going to share this with my beautiful group of ladies. So I have a group of ladies that are struggling with postpartum depression and anxiety, and I support them in multiple fashions. Just going to share this video with them so that they have access to it in my private Facebook group. So if you're not a part of my private Facebook group and that is something that you feel like you would benefit from, feel free to let me know and I can add you there. Okay, so that is done. So, breastfeeding support. Why is it so important? What are the risks of not getting breastfeeding support? So today I was in a workshop all day about breastfeeding and it was amazing. It was so good. And I'm so excited to spread this information to everyone because it was just really good. And now the risks of not getting support are huge. And I want to start out by letting you ladies know that I'm not judging anybody whether you are breastfeeding or whether you are doing some other supplementing, because we all know what's best for us, and I understand why you may be doing that. We all have our own unique story, right? And that's okay, right? As long as you know your story and what's going on for you, that's what matters. But what I'm talking about right now is the risks of not getting support, because support is huge, right? So those risks are huge, can be huge that way. So like I said, I'm coming from a place of curiosity. So I want to hear about you guys. What has your journey with breastfeeding been like? Has it been good? Has it been bad? What are your thoughts on whether, has society around you, has your support system around you been supportive of your journey, or have they not been so much supportive? I want to know these things, so answer them in the comments. I'd love to hear about that. And if you're joining me live, feel free to say hi. I always love knowing who's joining me live. And the other thing, if you're joining the replay, I definitely recognize you guys joining the replay, so feel free to answer these questions in the comments as well, because this is a very exciting topic. This is something I'm very passionate about. A little bit of my backstory before I get into some of these details that I have here. So with my first daughter, I guess I was the first person in my immediate family to have children. So I didn't really have a lot of exposure, I guess, to breastfeeding. So with my first daughter, I was able to breastfeed her till about 9 months, and then with stigmas and whatever else and different belief systems that I held at that point in time in my life, I decided that I was going to stop at 9 months. So that was my choice at that point. So again, like I said in the beginning, I totally respect you for you being the best mom and the best making the best decisions for your child, right? Because we all intuitively as mothers, and we all need to reach into our intuition more and more. And that's so important. So, and then with my second daughter, I was able to nurse her until she was over 2, which was wonderful. I was very, very thankful for that because of all of the benefits of breastfeeding, right? So, immunity. So, immunity is the first one. So, whether you look at it as benefits of breastfeeding or risks of not breastfeeding, whichever side of the perspective you want to look at. I always like to look at things in a more optimistic perspective, but however you want to look at it. So immunity was huge. I know my daughter was born in December, so during the more cold and flu winter season was when she was 2, so I decided to kind of prolong it a little bit longer because I really believed in the strength of that, and I knew the strength of that. The science behind it backs it up. So that's huge, immunity. The other thing, and regardless of if you're just nursing once a day, so if you're supplementing and you're nursing once a day, that immunity is still so strong. So that risk of not having that support, so if you're not having that support to help you, even if it's to help you continue to breastfeed, once a day, your risk is you have a less immunity being passed on to your child, right? So 50% risk of SIDS. So a lot of us have heard this, you may not have, but SIDS is a huge risk when we're not breastfeeding. So we don't have that support. If we don't have those people helping us, that becomes a risk, right? Diabetes for both mom and both babies. So that risk goes up. Breast cancers are huge. Childhood cancers. So childhood cancers are on the rise. Huge stuff, right? So those are huge. And by not having that support, this is the thing. This is the real big piece, is like I said, is like by just getting a little tiny bit, like one nurse having like one session of nursing per day, or just getting one feed in per day, is going to tremendously impact this, right? So by having that support to encourage you, maybe you're going back to work and you can't fit in all the feeds per day. I know a lot of you ladies in the States, you don't have the maternity leave that we're fortunate to have in Canada. So that's the challenges you're faced with, right? And so having that support that's going to help you continue to do that, whether it's just a little bit, is going to really benefit baby, right? The other thing is, when we are still breastfeeding, it's releasing lots of oxytocin. So that's the love hormone, right? And we want to encourage that love. And the more support we have, the more loving surrounding, the love we're surrounded by, more community, we get more oxytocin. The more we're encouraged, the more we're supported and uplifted and bringing each other up. And that is why I love my group of ladies. That is why I love you guys. That is why I'm working on setting up a group program for all of us to support each other and bring each other up, because that is what is needed. That's what's missing, is us being able to tune into our intuition, us being able to bring each other up and have more of that oxytocin, right? Why wouldn't we want more of that oxytocin that's going to bring us up and make us feel good? And I strongly believe that's a missing link, and that's where we're all struggling. A lot of us are struggling, is we're not having that support, right? So that's that. Now the other risk of not getting breastfeeding support is emergency situations. So as we have happening in the States, we have the hurricanes happening in Canada, and in the States we've had lots of forest fires in other countries. Hi Mary Beth, thank you for joining me. And in other countries, all kinds of different emergencies that happen. And the thing is when we have the ability to breastfeed, hi Allison, thank you for joining me, the ability to breastfeed, we can get up and go. We don't need formula, we don't need clean water, we don't need all these things. And like I said, back to, if you're just breastfeeding just once a day, you can still have the capacity to bring that milk back up, that supply back up, right? So the risk of not getting that support and not continuing on just doing a little bit per day is the fact that if there is an emergency, say you get stuck behind a landslide or an avalanche or something in your car and you have baby and you didn't pack enough formula, well, what are you going to do? Like, what are you going to feed your baby, right? In these emergency situations, what do we have? So we need to bring each other up. We need to support each other. We need to inform people. And that's what I said in the beginning. I am just coming from a place of curiosity. I just want people to make informed decisions. And I want people to know the risks that are associated with this. So, and I've repeated this many, many times, is breastfeeding once a day is better than nothing. So the other thing is, I want to know, what were your breastfeeding goals? Or if you're still pregnant, if you're still, starting this, what are your breastfeeding goals? What are your goals? I would love to discuss this with you and support you with this. So this is a passion of mine. This is what I do. I support you ladies with everything. Families 0 to 6, supporting with all this. And breastfeeding is a key, huge piece in the whole birth process and postpartum support. So let me know in the comments, you know, what has your journey been like? What were your breastfeeding goals? Did you meet them? Are you meeting them? Did you not meet them? Let me know. I want to know. It's good stuff to know, and I'm here to support you guys, and then I can provide you with more information regarding that. And if you feel like you need that support, I'm here, so reach out. The other thing I wanted to announce, ladies, that's I'm super, super excited about is my relationship challenge. So I'm doing a 5-day relationship challenge starting October 1st. So that's October 1st. Mark that on your calendars, and I will put the link in the comments or the description somewhere in here. So click on the link and be sure to join, so you'll get the welcome email, and then you'll get each 5 days starting October 1st with all of the action steps towards a better relationship. Because I know how difficult it can be after having a new one. I know how challenging it can be on our relationships. I had my own challenges with that, and I want to help support you guys, because divorce rates are at an all-time high right now, particularly after having a new baby. So let's bring each other up, let's support each other, let's get these tools out here so you guys can get a better relationship, enjoy your lives, and have fun with your families, right? That's what it's all about. And then there's all kinds of studies about the precaution, things that happen with our children as a challenge of not having that supportive family, parenting, etc. Anyways, so I will add that link in the comments. Join. If you have any friends who you feel could use a relationship challenge and support with their relationships after having a baby, feel free to add them to the group after you've joined, and make sure that they join the email list so that they can get all of the challenge stuff, all of the action steps, the important stuff. And there will be live videos every day. I'll be there walking you through it, helping you through this. So, all right, ladies, love you lots. And if you have any questions, I'm just wrapping up here, so feel free to ask them, and otherwise I will get them afterwards. Allison's saying, I wanted to make it to 1 year. Today I struggled early. Today I struggled early and was an understatement. It hurt so much. I felt like a failure. My husband and mom were super supportive, and my mom had the same experience as me. But come to find out, things were not normal. No more me about tongue ties. They're a real thing, and almost ended breastfeeding journey early. Yeah. So that's a good goal to have. Yeah. It's hard when it's hurting. And the thing is getting support is so helpful, and it's wonderful that you have your husband and your mom as support. That's very, very, very important. Yeah. And sometimes things are a bit different, and lactation consultants are a wonderful, wonderful tool. And Allison, if you wanna, are you done with breastfeeding, or if you're still continuing, send me a message, and I have a couple really cool videos that I can send you that might be helpful. So why don't you send me a quick message, and I can see about helping you with that. All right, ladies. Thank you for joining me as usual, and if anybody's watching the replay, feel free to answer all the questions. Let me know. I was lucky to find a good lactation consultant. Oh, that's wonderful. That's so good. And a year is wonderful. Like, I know in Canada what we recommend is 6 months. So if you can get to 6 months, that's fabulous. But I think my girls are going a little crazy. I don't know if you can hear them in the next room, so I better wrap it up, and leave any comments, send me a message, and I'd love to chat with you guys. Okay? Have a lovely night, and talk to you later.